Here, my students, let's move on to Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease. Really, let's begin with the cortisol connection. Cortisol is one of the hormones secreted by the adrenal glands. It's secreted in response to stress. In moderate amounts, cortisol isn't harmful, but when produced in excess day after day as a result of chronic and relenting stress, this hormone is too toxic to the brain that it kills and injures brain cells by the billions. I'm not certain that chronic exposure of the brain to toxic levels of cortisol is a primary cause of brain degeneration during the aging process over decades. Excessive cortisol destroys the biochemical integrity of the brain. I believe further that cortisol really is one of the primary causes of Alzheimer's disease. Defined very simply, Alzheimer's is a mental condition characterized by extensive death of brain cells. I'm convinced, based upon my research and clinical work, that excessive cortisol production is one of the primary causes of death of those cells. The other causes appear to be genetic factors, environmental factors, metabolic factors, and decreased blood flow to the brain. So the genetic causes of brain cell death can't be readily influenced yet, but the other causative factors can be. Making a difference between brain and mind that sound obvious, but the general public tends to overlook this simple fact. People often confuse the brain with the mind, even though the brain and the mind are two different. The mind is software, the mystical and mysterious product of all that we are. The brain is hardware, a bodily organ that requires nutrition, rest, use, and proper medical care. Because people tend to forget that their brains are flesh and blood, they often overlook the physical care and maintenance of their brains. Millions of us expend enormous energy in physical fitness programs for our hearts and muscles, but we totally ignore the most important organ in the body, the brain. What is the result of this neglect? Slow brain death. In almost all people, 20% of all brain cells die over the course of a lifetime. The size of the brain significantly brain power. So it's very, very important to know the difference, making a difference between them, brain and mind. Let's move on to and ask questions here about this topic tonight. It's our lecture tonight about Alzheimer's disease, as defined by, characterized by extensive death of brain cells.